What is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another Home Arcade podcast, and in this episode, we'll talk a little bit about the Pro line. That's the main focus and topic of this podcast, but we will be talking a lot about the Golden Tee. That is a cabinet that I picked up. I built it today, and I have some initial thoughts on it, and I'm going to tell you, like, the entire time I was putting it together, and as I was doing it, I felt like this is a Pro cabinet. Like, it's weird. Like, we've been calling it an XL, but I think actually that's why Golden Tee Arcade 1UP didn't know what to call this cabinet, because it's a weird cabinet. It's like a Pro line, but doesn't have Pro parts. Let's talk about it. So when the first time we heard about the Golden Tee, it was announced as this XL cabinet. That's what we called it, right? And that's because the website said XL. But as I got it and put it together, and I started comparing it to like the Killer Instinct, it has all the hallmarks of the Pro line, except for it doesn't have a Pro trackball, and it doesn't have a Pro screen. The screen on this is not an IPS screen. It's not like the 4x3 Arcade 1UP 3/4 scale monitors where you can basically look at it at all angles and it looks great. And I think this is going to be a problem. I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, let me break it down. Let me take a look at it. Hey, look, this is tons of other videos we could watch, but take a look at the Tron, $700. It's larger, but it has a riser, okay? Right? So it doesn't have a special name. Killer Instinct is a Pro series, right? It doesn't have a riser, which is pretty funny, because my wife came downstairs today and she's like, oh, so when are you going to stop buying Arcade 1UPs? And my daughter cleverly said, the answer is never, Mom, which was pretty sweet and funny. But check this out. Later, she overheard me talking to Evelyn, my daughter, about how it doesn't have a riser. I was like, oh, this cabinet doesn't have a riser. So when we assemble it, we don't have to assemble a riser. And then we get it fully assembled. My wife comes in and goes, so it's basically a full-size cabinet. And that's what got me thinking. She thinks it's a full-size cabinet, right? Like, she's totally fooled into thinking that this is like the other cabinets that I have that are like real arcades. And so I know there's a lot of drama going on about this Golden Tee, but I wanted to give you that guy's perspective. This thing is huge. It's a really, really big cabinet. When you're in front of it, it's just taking up like the whole control panel is huge. The 19-inch screen makes a huge difference, but it's not great, okay? So we gotta talk about that. It's not great. So when you take a look at the Golden Tee cabinet here, you know, there's kind of been two things that people have been frustrated about, maybe three things. And so the different pieces are that the trackball, you know, it's not like a HAP trackball. I think at one point Arcade 1UP was gonna do a HAP trackball, I think maybe on their first gen, but, you know, maybe they didn't, and then they just never spent that extra money. So I guess you couldn't call it a Pro line because it doesn't have a super high-end trackball. It's large, but it's not like a super high-end one. The marquee is absolutely amazing. The marquee, I think, looks fantastic. It's that newer style. This is the first time I've ever seen a cabinet that had the coin door. Oh my gosh, the coin door is that's Pro. Like, the coin door, I think, is pretty amazing, right? But yeah, I've been looking at that monitor. That was that first thing I wanted to check, you know, if it washes out. Sure enough, it does wash out. And some people, let's see, even in the chat before the show started, there was a comment by somebody. Let me check what it is. Let's see. So we got Frank D saying the thing that I'm most concerned about is that they pushed an update for the Golden Tee that broke the trackball. They need to stop doing that. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I did not take an update. Some other people reached out and they're like, yeah, the new updates like basically makes your cabinet, the trackball not work. So like, what are you gonna do, right? So I haven't even connected it online because of that. Alpha saying, I don't think there's anything possible that can come out from Arcade 1UP factory that even remotely resembles anything Pro. So that's another piece of the debate. Now I'm going to have this White Claw. I got to get rid of these because they're not very good. Have you ever had that where this Ruby Grapefruit? They're just a variety pack that I got, so I figured I'd drink on the stream. Okay, let's see. Here, let me find that chat, and I thought it was really good. Let's see. Jason said, I've had a Golden Tee for a week. I downloaded the patch on day one, and it was fine, but never got a second notification for another patch that breaks your cabinet. So other people are talking about an update that came out recently that breaks their cabinet. Look at the website. They probably have the balls to list it as patch to break your golden tee. Jason says, imagine spending $1,000+ on a pro cabinet. You download a patch one day and it breaks it. Okay, so this is definitely a huge concern. Here it is. Jason says, B-Kong saw the new NBA Jam XL with 19-inch screen, and he didn't complain about washout. Should be fine. This is true. Let me break it down to you, right? So I ran some tests. I thought about, what about the iArcade? The iArcade is a 19-inch screen, and it's not a BOE. Does that have washout? It totally does. It does, but listen very carefully. You're probably, all you iArcadians are like, it does not have a washout. Yeah, but the screen is not tilt back, okay? Take a look at the NBA Jam. This is courtesy of Kongs or Us. Go check out his YouTube channel. He's a great YouTuber, makes fantastic content. I'm going to steal a clip from his video. We're friendly, so I think he'll give me permission to do that. If you're really mad, B, ping me on the side. I'm really, really sorry, but I think he's cool with me doing this. Okay. So take a look closely at the NBA Jam Shaq Edition from his footage. There's washout right there. There's a little bit of washout on the angle, just like the golden tee. Watch as it comes down low. A little bit more washout, right? Here's the thing. Go try that on your BOE monitors. You don't see it. You don't see it on the BOE monitor. Like, it doesn't wash out. You go really low, it looks really good. It looks great. On the 3/4 scale BOE monitor. Now, there's the 16.9 inch. At the very bottom of those, I think it has a little bit of washout, but you have to go really low. But my Star Wars doesn't. The Star Wars that I have behind me, you go really low on it, it looks great. Marvel Superheroes, the same thing. You go really low, it looks great. This Tempest, it looks great. Right? Take a look at this NBA Jam at a different angle, and it's get a little bit washed out. Now, I'll tell you straight up, when I first got in front of the golden tee, I didn't even think about it. Like, I immediately just started playing the game. In fact, I didn't even plug in my light up marquee, and I was playing an entire set of games without even realize that there's no light, shining in front of me. I was too, into the game. I was having fun. So there's something to be said about that, where, like, if you're sitting in front of the golden tee and you're playing it, you're not going to have an issue. It looks great. It's when you sit way low and look up at it, or you walk away. So I broke it down. If you walk away, you're kind of seeing it at an angle from the bottom. But this iArcade that I have behind me, when I'm standing up, pretty much anywhere in the room, I'm higher than the iArcade. I'm basically not looking from the bottom. I'm either looking straight on. I'm basically always looking straight on, even as you walk away. But if you bend down on the iArcade, you'll see it wash out. But that's the thing. What's the scenario where you would be that low on an iArcade? It's just like, so you're like, it doesn't wash out. And it's totally true. So the iArcade, like, essentially doesn't wash out, but it does if you kind of force a scenario where you're looking at it at an angle. But the golden tee, this is the problem with the golden tee, is the monitor is slanted very far back, and it's not an IPS screen. And so you put that together, and you can stand just a cabinet away. Like, if you're standing a cabinet away, it kind of looks washed out. But again, if you're standing right in front of it, it looks fine. Yeah, iArcade monitor is one of its drawbacks. So here's the thing that I'm worried about with the Pro. Now, I was thinking about it. A Street Fighter Pro is definitely something that I'd be interested in getting, okay? And a Street Fighter Pro, I'm assuming it's not going to be slanted backwards, right? It would be kind of up like the other ones. And so that little bit of difference would make it more like the iArcade. So if the Pro line has the same monitor, I think it's called like a Light Star, but it has the same monitor as the XL, maybe it won't be as bad because just the angle will be better. But I just wish it was an IPS screen. Like, and this is what got me thinking. If you watched from the beginning on here, I was talking about how, in a way, this Golden Tee is a Pro line, if you will. Just entertain this for a second. Imagine the XL and the Pro were basically the same model. Because in a lot of ways, they are. I really think, like, if from a certain point of view, if you will, there's not really a difference between what we call an XL and a Pro, right? So the only thing that would make this Golden Tee a Pro, in my opinion, this is why we're talking about this, is if they used a really high-end trackball and they used an IPS screen. Okay? Take a Golden Tee, throw a better trackball in it, and put an IPS screen in it, you can call it a Pro now. Okay? Go to Killer Instinct. If you don't put an IPS screen in here, is it a Pro then? Or is it just, here, let me fix it for him. Let's go. Let's see. We're just going to call it, let's see. We'll just call it an XL. That's what I'm telling you. I don't care, John. If you're watching live, that's an XL if it doesn't have an IPS screen in it. That's my feelings. You can call it a Pro. You can call it a Pro all you want. But that's an XL series if it doesn't have a high-end monitor in it. That's just what I'm saying. Because look, you guys are doing some amazing things. When I put together the Golden Tee, I had this amazing feeling. Like, I was sitting here like, how do I review this video? I'm like, this thing is fantastic. It is everything you've ever wanted Arcade 1-Up to ever do with a cabinet. It's big, it's tall, the screen is bigger, it looks great, all the colors are vibrant. It's just vibrant. Just don't turn it on. Don't turn it on. Because the moment you turn it on, you're going to have a firmware update that's going to break your machine. You're going to be irritated with the trackball. Hopefully, the firmware is going to fix that. I think it can. I think that's what they're trying to fix. So hopefully, they can stabilize that with the firmware update. There's one thing they cannot fix with the firmware update, is the washed out monitor. And here's the thing. Arcade 1-Up knows this. You do one thing wrong with the cabinet, it's what everyone's going to talk about. If you have one eyesore, everyone's going to talk about it. And it will stop people from buying it. That monitor, the choice of doing that monitor, you know what it's going to do? This thing right here, just watch it. That monitor having a washout issue is going to cause the price to go to $599. And then people are still going to complain about the washed out issue and not buy it. And then it's going to be $499. And if only they would have had an IPS screen, then the Golden Tee would be 100% fixable. Because I do believe, now I got to refresh this because it's not really $499. You know, I just modified that for illustrative purposes. I do believe that the trackball issues that they can be complained about, Harold Miller's like, well, I'd buy it at $399. I'd buy it at $399. So I do think the trackball issues that are on this Arcade 1-Up could be solved by a firmware update. That washed out issue, again, it's not really an issue if you're standing in front of it and you're just playing the game and enjoying it. It doesn't wash out. The gameplay is fine. But again, you can't deny the fact that out of all the cabinets that you have, it's the one that's going to look funny. And then you paid $699 for it? I have to be honest, like, it irritates me. I like the cabinet. I love the look of it. It's really big. It's really nice. That monitor's just messing with me. And now I'm like, I can't even enjoy the leaderboard because that'll go away. Hopefully that'll go away. They'll do a firmware update and then that'll be fine. Okay, so let's run through this. You could say, Tron, you know, that has a riser. Golden Tee doesn't have a riser. It's kind of an XL Pro. Killer Instinct. Okay, I'm jokingly calling it XL if it comes with the same monitor. I think they need to upgrade to that BOE IPS 19-inch screen 4x3 if they can. Delay the Pro. You should delay the Pro if it hasn't been manufactured yet. If you're still in the development process and you plan on using the same monitor, I think you should delay it. If it's already out, it's already out. Make sure this Street Fighter or whatever the next Pro you're gonna do Make sure it has a nice monitor on it. Tell everyone, yep, we went back to BOE. So the iArcade, like I was talking about before, this is $599. Again, this does wash out, but only in extreme conditions. Like, it's nearly impossible. You have to be a child of 3 years old and look up at this crazy angle and you'll see it washed out, because the monitor is tilted in such a way where it's very difficult to be in a scenario where you see it washed out. And wrapping it up, the topic, if you look at B's video for the NBA Jam, I see washout right there, and in an extreme scenario there. I think this is the same monitor. I think this is just basically their standard 19-inch monitor as of right now. It's all the same. A couple other things I wanted to talk about. Arcade 1-Up. Hey, thanks, Sosa Fam Bam. Thanks for the super chat. Great show. Keep up the good work. I love to watch. Appreciate it, man. So if you look at Arcade 1-Up's website, find it kind of interesting. So we have 2 negative comments on Arcade 1-Up's website. One, he didn't get a power cord. Couldn't wait to play after assembling, only to find out I didn't get a power cord to operate the machine. Okay, so that stinks. And then one other person, and forgive this person, I think he was typing quickly or voice to chat. It says, if you're under 5'3" or bend over, you can't see the screen. He's describing the washout, okay? My kids can't use it unless they're standing on something. That's important. He's got young children. I've seen a lot of comments from people that are like frustrated with that. Okay, the screen blacks out at that level. I think what he's saying is it washes out when you look up from below, so his younger kids can't play it. The trackball is garbage. That's the other thing people are talking about. Extremely difficult to get a feel of how far the ball is going. So he wants to be able to spin it. I think that's what the firmware updates are. The harder you lay into the spot, the leads distance you get. That's the part I don't fully understand. The harder you lay into the spot, the leads distance you get. That's not golden tee. So I think he's saying, like, the faster you spin it, the you don't go as far. I think maybe is what he's saying. That's not golden tee. The harder you hit it, the farther it goes. I think he's saying that's how it's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be aligned correctly. I think that's the firmware update they're trying to work on. Asking for a return and refund. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so that's what this one negative comment is. But when we look at the Arcade 1-Up discussion groups or forums talking about the Arcade 1-Up, there's a lot more negative comments that we're hearing, yet this thing is getting a 4.5 star. And if you look at it, it's just been waiting for this, Golden Tee 3D Golf, love the new upgrades. Also, I don't know why every single word is capitalized in this system. It's like this weird, been waiting for, it's like each one's a sentence. That's weird. Fix that. You guys, whoever you're integrating with for your comments is weird. But it just makes me wonder if all of these are bots, right? Like, some of this is true. It's a beast. I guess they're verified buyers that bought from Arcade 1-Up. Are we sure? Powered by a whole scale? Not real happy with the monitor, but you gave it 4 stars. Maybe this is real. You have to stand directly in front of the monitor to get the best view. Very washed out if standing to the side. My other Arcade 1-Ups don't have this problem, but love the games on the cap. Yeah, I really hope you guys make more XL cabinets. Great game. Looks great. Not bad. Didn't get a power cord. Just putting together, so we'll evaluate later. Great game. So that's the other thing, guys. This thing took me twice as long to put together than normal. I would expect that from all pros. Let's see. Hobby Hands with Super Chat. He says, I'm 5'2". I need a riser. But for me. All right, so let's take a look at what the chat is saying. I'd love to catch up with the chat and see what you guys are thinking about this cabinet. And this is what got me worried. I got really excited for Arcade 1-Up's Pro line, right? And I think basically I did buy a Pro line. You know, I don't know really what's going to be different with this. What's going to be different with the Golden Tee and like a Street Fighter Pro or something like that, or Killer Instinct Pro, because it's going to be the same size, right? It's going to be the same wood. If it has the same screen, then what's the difference with what I got? Just hap controls. That's it. And so, you know, and that's fine. That's totally fine. Like, I get it. But it does take a long to assemble. It's not really a complaint. That's more like a warning. If you buy one of these cabinets, like, you need an afternoon. Like, these XL Pro lines, it's like, I want to say, you know, the days of putting together a cabinet in 20 minutes, they're gone. Like, I've done, like, I don't know, 15 cabinets, maybe more. I don't know how many I've assembled. But this one, my wife started watching Sonic, the movie. She had never seen it. And we finished it, and I still wasn't done. Like, she's watching it, and I'm in the other part of the room just assembling it, and I didn't finish. She finished the movie before I finished the cabinet. Let's see what you guys have to say about this topic. I'd really love to turn this into a conversation. Let's see. If the monitors are the same used for Golden Tee, the XL and the Pro lines will be horrible, and no one should buy them, period. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see. Matt says Pro line, XL line, the bathroom line, all excuses to sell more Pac-Mans. That's the thing. I'm really excited about the potential of, I really am, an XL Pac-Man, but I would want like a Pro line. That's got to be a 19-inch high-end monitor, right? Because a Pro Pac-Man's going to have a slant. And if it's anything like the Golden Tee, you're going to need an IPS screen. I mean, they should just have a rule you're going to use IPS screen if you're going to charge a customer more than, I don't know, $500-$600. I don't know the logistics. Maybe this is way out of line to say that, but from a consumer, that's what a consumer expects. Is if you're going to pay that amount of money, you're going to get a high-end product. Okay, so there's that. None of this matters if it takes forever for them to release the new titles. The thing I'm concerned about is they pushed an update to Golden Tee, and it broke the trackball. That's right. So far, the only thing interesting I heard is Dragon's Lair, and it's only because they whiffed on Space Ace. I've had Golden Tee for a week. We read that already. Look on their website. Yeah, we saw that already. Imagine spending $1,000 on a Pro Cab. You download a patch. Man, understandable. Don't need to imagine that. Had Tron for 1 week, and spinner broke. $699 was close enough. Man. Sucks that your spinner broke. I don't play Tron too often because I'm afraid of it will break. I've seen the flight stick break often enough on Facebook. Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Tron's not something that I ever picked up, but when I started seeing those customer service issues on the Tron, I felt for everyone that bought it. That stinks, but I guess some people weren't having the issue, but others did. Let's see. All right. The Pro line is too expensive. For that kind of money, or maybe a bit more, you can buy a real deal. You can buy the real deal. That's built to withstand the punishments of a real arcade. It's a really good point. I mean, I like the idea. I don't mind spending the $600 or $700 on a brand new cabinet, one that it's never been used, if it's got pretty high-end equipment in it. And I mean like monitors, like, yeah, it's got an Orange Pi in it, Raspberry Pi type level CPU. It's a quad-core processor, 1.8 gigahertz, that type of thing. You know, it's not going to be like a PC in it. But if the monitors are really good, you're buying a monitor that's dedicated for this gaming system. And it's one of the reasons why I like Arcade 1-Up. You can have many systems. They're just ready to go, right? You can just step right into it. It's not something you're going to watch a movie on. You can just walk right up to the arcade and play the game because it was designed to just play that game. And if it's a high-end system, again, you're going to have a couple frames of lag. It's not the most perfect thing. But yeah, I mean, I bought if you watched my previous video, this year I got Zaxxon for like, that was $300, I want to say. Is that a $400 one? I can't remember. It's like $300 or $400. And that was a really good deal. And at that price, you're like, yeah, I mean, it's a better deal than an Arcade 1-Up at that price. The problem is not everyone has the advantage to be able to get something like that at a good price. You got to keep an eye out for those auctions. A lot of, in my area, again, Golden Tees go for like $1,500 in our area, and they're just gigantic. So I really love the size of this Golden Tee. It's really good. I just hope they fix some of those problems. And I could probably ignore, get over the screen washed out, because when you are playing it, it's fine. Like when you're actually playing the game, that's cool. Justin's afraid the Pro line fatigue mat won't actually prevent fatigue. That's a good one, Paul. That's really good. I even opened it up and lubed it. It still rattles a bit and hard to roll the ball. Oh, man. See, people are like trying to get that ball to work a little bit better. Hopefully it can be done somewhat. That's the other thing. Anyone know if Glenn's Retro Show trackball will work on the new Golden T-Cab? I hope Glenn is working on a new trackball. Now, again, here's the weird thing. Like, the trackball, it is, like, got its own cable. It probably could be replaced. But I wonder if they're going to tweak it in firmware and get it to... It's like the sensitivity or something. They get that dialed in just right. I hope they get that. So, before we go any further, I'm going to continue with the chat. But I want to let you guys know... So... If you go to Whatnot, I am a authorized Whatnot seller, and I'll be doing live shows on Whatnot very soon. And there's a link in the description. If you hit that link, it's one of those you get 10, I get 10 type of thing. And you don't have to use it if you don't want. You can go to Whatnot and just sign up for yourself. But if you want to get 10 and give me 10, sign up through there. But here's the deal. I'll be selling off a whole bunch of my collection on Whatnot through these live streams. And Whatnot is a new platform, and it has followers and things like that. You get notifications. But I want to let everyone know, but I'll be doing a giveaway, okay? So that's another thing that's really cool about these live streams. So if you hit that notification, you hit the link, the invite here, you can be notified. It's just an app that you download. You link it to your, you can link it to your PayPal or whatever. But I'll be giving away a Gpi Case. Anyone who enters, you won't have to pay for anything. I pay for shipping. It's through Whatnot. That's how I'm going to do these giveaways now. This is what the Gpi Case looks like if you've never seen one. It comes with a screen that doesn't wash out. Okay? I'm going to get that to focus in a second here, and I'll show you some of the quality of this thing that you'll be getting, or potentially get because of someone's going to win this in the auction. Okay? When I do my first auction, someone's going to win this. Now, this is mine. This one's new in box. Come on, focus on me again. Come on, camera. I'm right here. There we go. Okay, this one's complete in box, right? So you'll get a brand new one, and this one's mine. I bought two when they came out. What's really cool about this guy is the RetroPie is inside the cartridge. So it won't ship with one. You just buy a $10 Pi Zero and an SD card. There's instructions online of how to load that up. You put it in there, you put your games on it, it's like you got a little Game Boy. It's really, really cool. And so follow me on Whatnot. I'll be doing the giveaway probably towards the end of it. So it'll be a live stream. We hang out. There's a chat. We can chat here on YouTube as well. I might do it next Sunday, but I'm not sure. I might do it sooner than then, especially if they nag me because I was supposed to do a live stream a lot sooner. And so I'll be doing like NES carts starting at $1. And the shipping on Whatnot is fantastic. It's basically $4 for most of the United States, I believe. And so if the auction starts at $1, it's a $5 game. Now, if you win the auction, and then you win something else, your second item shipping is only $1. And you can keep adding things to that box for only $1 if you win that auction. It's a really good setup. You go to eBay and you want to buy a cartridge. A lot of times it's like, oh, you're going to pay $15 for shipping. And then you're like, oh, I want to buy this other game from someone else. Okay, cool. You're going to pay $15 shipping on that, right? But with Whatnot, if you come to the live auction, and here's the cool, it's a live auction, you will see the item, and you can ask any questions you want on the item. And I'm going to tell you, like, oh, open the lid. Okay, I'll open the lid. It's a live stream. You can show every little piece about the item. You're like, oh, you want me to show you this? Okay, I'll zoom in on it, whatever. And then the auction starts. And then you make your bids. They'll be fun. I know we've done a lot of these auctions in the past, and they've been a lot of fun, but they were not real auctions. It was just like Ralph and I talking about an arcade auction, right? But with Whatnot, it'll be a real auction that I'm auctioning off some things. Now, this is the most expensive thing that's in my lineup for the auction, and I'm going to give it away. And so I'll see if I can figure out a way to kind of mix the YouTube and Whatnot together, where I'll do reviews of items, and then when I review the item, if it's like a handheld or something like that, that week we'll go on Whatnot and I'll give it away. All right, you just come over to Whatnot, and then I'll sell some NES carts or something like that. Again, I got a lot of doubles for the cartridges that I have, so hopefully that'll be a fun activity that the community will will enjoy. Let's see. Let's catch up on the chat and see what you guys have to say about everything. Peter showing his love, and of course, he needs his claw machine. Of course. Let's see. At $700, you expect premium, or at least better. There we go. How does the Pi Zero smell? Let's see. It smells good. It smells good. Yeah, it smells like a little cherry pie. That's what it smells like. White Claw, there we go. To be fair, comparing the superior game credentials of consoles to Arcade 1-Up is also comparing 50 cents per play is absolutely expensive. There are 100% of form factor and nostalgia. Okay, there we go. I want to watch your Whatnot auction. Let's do it, man. I wish I could set it up right now. Like, I figured like I should do the live stream and we'll talk about it. Like, part of me feels like let's just do it tonight, but I don't think I can do it tonight. Let's see. JJ says, for Whatnot, is it better expensive on a experience on a PC or website or mobile phone? It's an interesting thing. I have to use a phone for the live auction. This is the part I haven't figured out, JJ. So, like, I've been thinking about this thing where I say, if you want to have the best experience, this is what you do. And I don't know if this is going to work, but it would be like, go to your TV and watch me on YouTube, okay? And then go to the Whatnot app and find me on Whatnot, right? And like you can look at me on the nice clear screen, which I'll show off everything with a nice camera, but you can bid on your phone. But you can also see the item close up on the phone. I don't know. I'm gonna try it out. I don't really know how it's gonna work. Kind of depends on your situation. I use Whatnot. I've bought a tons of stuff on Whatnot just from my phone. Like, I got little earbuds in, connect to my phone. Wife's watching a movie. I'm just sitting there. I'm bidding on some items. You can do it that way. You can chat right with the community right in there. Let's see. When are you going on Whatnot auction? Soon. Just follow me. The link is in the description. I'll put a link. Let's see if I have it. Yeah, I'm going to put a link right now in StreamYard. You can hit that. I'm sorry. It's going to go to your YouTube chat. And you can click that and follow me. Again, that's one of those invite links where if you buy something, you'll get a $10 credit. And I get $10 for referring you. That type of thing. That screen is like drinking a White Claw. Once you have it, you want something. Yeah, better quality. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. Imagine if you bought a PlayStation, Xbox, a Switch, and you had hundreds of dollars to make them work. You had to add hundreds of dollars to make them work. Yeah, don't want to be in that situation. Glenn is a mad scientist. What's up, Console Kid? Sorry I missed the first part of the show. Shame on you, Super J Man. I'm kidding. Different size. Hello. What's up? Haha. Absolutely, Lewis. Okay. Real arcades are older, heavier, and require maintenance. This is also true. It's not something that the average Joe should get unless they're aware of those drawbacks. That's a good point. And I also wanted to make it clear, if you were thinking about getting a Golden Tee, there's some drawbacks with the Golden Tee. Like, it's funny. Like, I don't want to say, it's a tough one, right? Like, me personally, I started thinking, if I knew what I knew now, would I go back and not buy it? And I'm like, I think I would still buy it. I think. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Like, I think I would still buy the Golden Tee, knowing what I know. Because, again, my very first experience, the monitor didn't bother. I didn't even think of the monitor. I didn't even remember the monitor issue. I didn't even think to look at the monitor issue. I was just playing the game. I was totally enjoying it. I played several games. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Because it didn't take the firmware update. So the game was like, fine. I was like, wow, this is really good. Like, I want to get some chicken wings and some pizza. Make this a whole experience, right? And then I was like, okay, let me check out the washout. I'm like, oh, it's there, but it's not that bad. It didn't really irritate me. What irritates me is paying double $1,200 and it's that same monitor. Because that's my point. I'm sorry it took so long to get to this point, but if there's the Whatnot stuff. If you're looking at Golden Tee and it's like $700, right? And you're like, this is essentially a Pro. But imagine this is like Street Fighter. But they charge like $1,200? It's almost double the price. That better come with an IPS screen then, right? Because there's a huge difference between $700 and $1,200. You know what I mean? It's a big difference. It must be all pro. It has to be all pro. IPS screen, hat buttons and sticks. For that price? Come on, because you got Golden Tee for $700. And it's basically a pro. It just doesn't have the IPS screen. Which is like, okay, maybe if they would have said, look, if you want an IPS screen, it's $1,200. You want hap control trackball, it's $1,200. If you're okay with it looks great when you're playing it, but like, just don't go 2 cabs away and it'll kind of wash out, but you're going to save $500? You're like, oh, save $500? I see. Save $500. I get it. Yeah. I could see that. As long as we're talking about it. As long as they're like upfront with it. Let's see. Justin, I'm very impressed with how many arcades you picked up in the last 6 months. Bravo. Actually, it's not true. I've only picked up a couple in the last few months. I just now told people about it. There you go. Because I picked up like 8 last year. I just didn't tell anybody. I was ashamed. Arcade 1-Up needs to fix all the kinks before they release. There we go. See? You got it. This is so true. So true. They need to fix the kinks before they release Star Wars. Come on. Star Wars has to be an IPS screen. Yes. You watching, hit 1 in the chat if your name's John D. and you're hearing me. Star Wars has to be an IPS screen. It's gotta be. $1,200. I don't care. It has to be perfect. Perfect. And when you make it, like, get a couple. Send a couple to the different quality assurance to make sure it's perfect. If it's perfect, dude, this thing was nearly perfect. Like 9 out of 10, right? Like, I think of a complaint of this Star Wars. Like, some people said the marquee was washed out. Mine was great. You could kind of see the cable right here, but it somehow, you can see it, right? There's like a cable right here. This is really hard to do, by the way. There's a cable right there. But it looks like it goes with the artwork on my cabinet. Like, literally, it's perfect, actually. Some people complained that the marquee on the Star Wars was not as good. Mine, it looks great. Some other people, they had to do some adjustments. But other than that cabinet's, like, solid. It's just amazing. If they re-release Star Wars as an XL or Pro, it's got to be as good. Just bigger and a bigger screen, right? Maybe more games. Maybe it's the Sega version. I don't know. Okay. If I was going to drop $1,000 on a Pro line, I might as well go to an auction and try to get a real commercial grade cabinet for the same, or maybe 100 or 2 more. It's a good point. High prices. Now you're competing with full-size arcades. This is the thing that I learned about buying full-size arcades in my area. My biggest problem is I didn't want to rent a truck. It started to get real expensive really quick. And then at the auction, I just started talking to people. Like, I went to an auction and I was like, hey, is anyone here, like, would help me move a cabinet? And like, yeah, go talk to Arthur. I was like, hey, Arthur, I heard you, like, help move cabinets. He's like, yeah, where do you live? I'm like, I live like 20 minutes from here. He's like, yeah, $50. I was like, seriously? I can buy anything here and you'll deliver it to my house, to my garage, $50. He's like, yeah, no problem. I was like, yes, that's a good deal. Like, he's got a big trailer. It's like a trailer like horses could go in, right? Rolling a cabinet into his trailer is nothing for him. The trailer's already super low. It's like, boom, just roll it right in. He brought it straight to my garage, and we just rolled it right out. I was good to go. So I bought some of these cabinets for like $300, and then paid Arthur $50. All in all, I even tipped him. I was like, gave him a $20 tip, because I was like, this is a good deal. I didn't have to go to U-Haul. I didn't have to get a truck. The cost of that, I didn't have to pay for gas. This guy just hooked me up. That's my recommendation for you. If you're looking for a full-size arcade, but you're worried about like how you're going to transport it, if you're going to one of those auctions that are in your area, just talk to people, because they got to move cabinets too. They might be like, I move cabinets all the time. I got a big truck. Sure. There was this guy I saw. He had like a Mercedes van, and he was an arcade owner. I bet he would have helped me too. His van was huge. He could literally fit arcade cabinets in a van. So if it rained, like, none of the cabinets are going to get wet. And he could probably fit like 12 cabinets in there. And I bet if I was like, hey, could you hook me up? And like, he'd be like, yeah, I don't know, $50? Probably. It's like nothing for some of these people. That's my recommendation. And that's the thing with the Arcade 1-Up cabinets, it's delivered to your house. And I think that's one of the appeals. Or you can go pick it up at Walmart. It's not heavy. It's almost like Arcade 1-Up is making a ton of money off of nostalgia and the low barrier of entry to like get this cabinet into my house. Now, here's another thing I want to talk about. Boy, the Golden Tee. It is big. It is massive. It is complicated to put together. This is like, and this is what you're going to experience if you buy a Pro line. Because again, this whole show is talking about how I think the Golden Tee and the Pro line, they're basically the same. Like, the experience that I have on assembling the cabinet is going to be the same experience of assembling any other Pro line. I guarantee you. Like, now that I've done it, which I really enjoy, part of this hobby is just buying this stuff and then assembling it and understanding how it works. It's like a piece of it, right? So this guy right here, these pieces slide in. You know, if I don't know if some of you guys saw P-Dub's Arcade Loft, he had a live stream, and you lay these on the ground. You literally assemble the two pieces separately, okay? Fully assemble them separately, and which takes time, but it's not difficult. And then they go together like kind of a glove, like that, right? And then you go inside and you when you screw, check this out. When you're screwing these screws in right here, if you can see that, see me moving my mouse. When you screw these screws in, they're going into wood that's connected on the top. So there's wood that goes down into here, and then you're screwing that in, and it locks it in place. And so when you do that, then you just tip the whole thing up. Like, it's a pretty good setup. So Arcade 1-Up still has its value. It definitely does. Like, you can buy this. It's 100 pounds. The package is only slightly larger than any of the other Arcade 1-Up cabinets because the way they have it designed, right? The way they have it designed is where it's split, right? And so this kind of fills up almost the same space as the 3/4 scale. I think it's a little bit wider. And I was able to carry it down. It was heavy for sure, but I slid it down our stairs with my daughter. She kind of lifted it on one side and we just kind of took it together. No big deal. Took it out, assembled it. And here's the thing. I thought it would be like, oh, I'm going to save a ton of time because it doesn't come with a riser. It doesn't come with a riser, so I don't have to assemble the riser. No. This bottom part, that's the riser. Like this part right at the bottom, you have to assemble that separately like it's a riser. And then this top part, you assemble that like kind of like a bar top. But this wood it's the same thickness, but it's a solid, very large piece, which makes the entire thing very sturdy. And this piece is also very large. And this part juts out. It's a separate piece. It's got like a little J panel there, a little metal plate there, and then there's like a metal plate here. And then this, I'm going to do a review video that kind of breaks all that down. I did like shoot video of every single piece, like multiple cameras, and it should be, I don't know, it might take a while to edit, but later this week you'll see it, and I'll try to break down each little part of it. The quality is great, and the focus really is there's that negative piece, is no one can get over that the screen is washed out and there's problems with firmware and trackball. That's what they got to resolve, and that's what I'm saying. Here's how you resolve it. Get that firmware cleaned up, work on it with their QA, get it where it's working correctly, and then that might, logistically, I don't know if their QA actually have these trackballs that can test it out. I don't know. Maybe they need to do a beta program. Maybe they need to, like, send it out early to a couple people that'll test it out. I don't know. Get that firmware fixed. Now you solve the trackball and the firmware issue. Great. Get that stable. Cool. And then how you fix the monitor? You're just going to have to deal with the monitor now, but don't use this monitor for the Pro line. That's my recommendation. Use IPS for the Pro line. If you're going to make us pay $1,000 or more, I hope they didn't budget the Pro line based on this monitor, thinking they can save some money, and that's how they're going to save that cost. And then all of a sudden they're like, Justin says we got to have IPS for everything, so $1,200 for every Pro line. Find the numbers, man. We need a good quality monitor in these cabinets. We had it nearly perfect, and then we backpedaled a little bit. This is like if I came to Consulted Arcade 1-Up, this is what I would say. I'd sit down and be like, You guys had it. You done messed it up. The most beautiful thing about an Arcade 1-Up is that monitor. The BOE monitor is so great. And then you're like, let's go bigger. Can we lower the quality? Yeah, they won't notice. We noticed. We did notice. You got to make sure that quality's good. Oh, man. I like Sling Spade with the super spot. Did you notice all the mistakes in the assembly instructions? I sure did. Sling, I'm looking for your comments. What were the mistakes? I guess I didn't notice. Are they like... Because it's like an IKEA thing, right? It's all like pictures. There was a struggle when I got to the marquee. It wasn't clear. And it wasn't clear at the very beginning, like, which piece of wood. It's labeled. It's like, oh, use this letter, use this D1 and this E3 or, whatever. Get this K and get a couple P's and an N and an L. And you connect them at these spots. But I had to sit there and be like, I can't figure out in the picture, like, which one is what. So if you're just there in the chat, Sling Spade, I'm looking for your comment. Do you remember which? So, Matt, I do think Arcade 1-Up does have a QA department. I think one of their struggles is, I don't think their QA department actually has, like, the brand new cabinets, like a jig, like an actual... Like, they're using a lot of just various monitors that they already have. It's not like they're getting a brand new cabinet sent to them. That's my understanding. I don't think they're getting a cabinet sent to them where they then assemble it. I mean, I deal with that with my job. Like, in my job, I have a lot of TVs. And so there's so many TVs on the market that I have to support. And so there's a lot of different developers on the team and QA members on the team, and they all have different TVs. And we're trying to make sure everything works correctly. And it's a struggle because it's like at a certain point, someone's like, if you're a contractor for Arcade 1-Up and you work from home, which I bet is a lot of the case, like, maybe they need to have a QA department in Florida where their headquarters are. Maybe they do now. I'd love to go down there and check it out sometime. And they need to have a lab is what they need. Just every single time a new cabinet comes in, they have a lab, and then they get the pre-production ones. And, 3 months before they actually get out to retail, the QA department just starts slamming on it, see if there's any issues. If the QA department give them a week or two to find any of those issues, they have any issues, you kind of halt the production, and maybe they got to get these samples to them a much earlier. Yeah, so how do they test the firmware updates? Now, keep in mind, I don't work for Arcade 1-Up, but I've seen a lot of their stuff. My understanding is their QA department, definitely through COVID, they were working from home, and they basically had, kind of like partycades almost. It was like they had the monitor, kind of like, they had a lab, right, in their house. These employees that work for them, we had them on like the 1-Up Weekly, and you could kind of see behind them. Justin Wong was one of them, and there was a couple other employees, and they basically had a whole bunch of 17-inch monitors stood up, and in front of them they would have makeshift control panels, and then they would have different PCBs, because Arcade 1-Up only has a handful of different PCBs, right? So if you have all the right PCBs, you have a sampling of what is being manufactured, and then they can push firmware up to whatever PCB they want, or they have development kits. And so they can try out the firmware, and they do. There's probably a lot of firmware issues that have been caught by their QA department, but some of them are slipping through. And so I don't know if that QA department is actually looking at the quality of monitors, though. And maybe that's just a judgment call from Scott or something, where they're like, yeah, like if we put an IPS screen on the Golden Tee, the retailers really want that $699 price when we launch it. We just can't get any margins. We can't make it work with an IPS screen. So we'll have to lower the quality of the video, or the cabinet's just never going to come out because Golden Tee wants their piece and Walmart wants their piece, and you got to share the wealth. And when you put a cabinet in there, you can't lose money, right? And so they got to make money. They got to cover their cost of production, cover their cost of development. All that has to be done. Yeah, QA the final product. It's too late. That's right. It should be earlier. And I bet they're complaining. And I hope there's someone from Arcade 1-Up that's all like clips this and says, this is the point where you, QA department, that are like, we need to hire more people, or we need the product sooner, and your boss is not listening to you. Go tell them we need to hire more people and we need the product sooner. I hope that's what they're complaining about. I bet it is. Like, I've been there. I've worked in the field, not specifically at Arcade 1-Up, but there's a lot of times where I work for software development shops, and it's just like, you know, what the consumer needs is us to hire more devs or hire more QA and have, like, you know, a better quality control of the product. I worked for this startup, and it was like, the need was there, but there was no budget for it. But then it was just like, we don't have the budget. To get the budget, we'd have to raise costs, but no one wants the cost to be higher. And it was like, we need investments, but the investors are like, why are the customers complaining? So we ended up eventually getting $20 million more in investment, which helped us hire more people, and then we stabilized our product. But it's like a lot of maneuvering, and we basically made it where the stock was worth less. So it's like every employee that worked there, a lot of their incentive to work there was stock, and it kind of made it where the stock was worth less. But that's the formula. You got to do something, right? You can't just have customers complain. Let's see. Papa Brad says Paul is correct. So now I'm going to go see what Paul is correct about. Let's see. Paul. They should be QAing the final products. They should be QAing the final products. Yeah, but some other people are saying, but then it's too late. Yeah, here's the thing. I think we might be saying the same thing. What I think they should have is the final product should be getting earlier so that they can catch the issues, and hopefully the issues are just software, firmware, whatever. Otherwise, we are their beta testers, right? That's what it's like. Early adopters are their beta testers. Early adopters are complaining about their monitor, and it's unfortunate because maybe the monitor on their next cabinet's going to be better. And we were the one that told them, nah, dog, it's not good. It's not good. It's unfortunate. Let's see. Jong is over in Korea. He's overseeing everything to make sure the new iArcade Gold will be amazing. QA is important before the product ships out. It's a good point. You need to test more pre-full production of the unit. That's right. There we go. I started with West Side Studios in the late 80s. QA was, I don't know why I'm rapping this. I started with the West Side Studios in the late 80s. QA was one of my most important things, and I had to get our games out right. No internet to patch back then. There we go. I just rap comments. That's what I do now. A cheap way would be is to send finished prototype to reviewers. Correct, Justin. Final assembly pre-release product. None of this rhymes. You got to make your comments rhyme. Brian says, I missed the super chat. What did I miss? So I saw that from Sling Spade. Did you notice all the mistakes, assembly instructions? We talked about that. Oh, here we go. Sorry, Brian. Need better panels all the way around to be pro. Need better panels. Okay, Brian, in the chat. Sorry, I missed your chat, bud. Thank you, JJ, for reminding me. I'll leave all the rapping to Console Fanboy. Brian, so are you talking about what type of panels are you talking about? The side panels? So need better panels all the way around to be pro. Like thicker wood? Let's be specific. I'll highlight you. Go, run. Just. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah. One thing I noticed. This is so weird, but on the golden T, right here, is T molding. They put T molding on the control panel right on the front, but not everywhere else. Just in this one spot. So that's kind of cool. Randy says, I don't need these to be heavier. There's that word again. Heavy. Is there something wrong in the future with the Earth's gravitational pull? All right. Yeah. That's weird, King Kong, right? They sure did. They put T molding right there. So I started looking at it closely. I was like, whoa, that's like black T molding right there. Like, really good quality. And I think here's why. There's one other thing. I don't play Golden Tee a lot, but the trackball, right? You got to like push on the trackball and hit one in the chat for those that already own one of these. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. because I don't know the right answer, but check out this trackball. My hand, if I'm not watching closely, will hit right here. It's almost like I have to be aware that the bottom of it's right there. Now, I think it makes sense to put the trackball where it is. You can't really put it any closer to the screen because then you'd hit the screen. Here we go. Now, am I playing it wrong? This is like a Steve Jobs thing. Am I playing Golden Tee wrong? I did adjust, and I started putting my hands like where the B is, and then I would just kind of roll up, and then it wasn't awkward. I just had to kind of learn that. I don't ever remember doing that on a real Golden Tee. I think maybe the Golden Tee was just big enough that my hand wouldn't hit there. Let's see. Where I work, QA is tandem process with kitting and manufacturing. That probably is happening, but it depends on the quality, salary of the inspectors. Yeah. I want to see. Burger Time has red T molding in the same spot of the deck. Okay, I didn't know that. Doug is saying they have done T molding before. Burger Time and Frogger, only on the front of the controls. Cool. Yeah, I never owned either of those cabinets. I thought this was the first. You must focus and use the force. Gen 1 Golden Tee doesn't have any T molding. However, I've never had a problem hitting my palm on the edge of the control panel when playing. It may be just user error, for sure. Operator error, maybe. Let's see. I don't come close to T molding. Okay. Hobby Hands with the $5 super chat. He says, I would rather wait a year or two and get it right the first time. It would be worth an extra $200 for better QC, better monitor, and controls. Yeah, maybe this is a problem of early adopter syndrome or something. It's like we're in the situation, or at least I am, and the other ones that hit one in the chat, where we got really excited about this brand new XL cabinet. And again, you're right. If you wait or two, they'll get it right. But we need somebody to get it right. Someone has to take the fall and make sure they know. They're like, hey man, this isn't top notch. Like, for this price, I expect more. Hopefully they can make it work. Let's see. I play it goofy. I keep my hands on both sides of the balls and spin with my thumbs. I'm weird. Yeah, I was kind of playing around with that idea. David McIntosh. No. David McIntosh? No. David McIntosh? No. David McIntosh? No. David McIntosh? No. No. David McIntosh? No. David McIntosh? No. Sorry. I don't know why I was doing that. Let's see. You can place your hand on the trackball before you roll. Use your middle finger to guide it straight up. Cup your hand to hit trackball. And not only with your fingers, but also with the heel of your hand. Okay? You can place your hand on the trackball before you roll. Use your middle finger to guide it straight. Okay? Cup your hand to hit the trackball. I think I'm doing it. With not only your fingers, but also the heel of your hand. I think I was doing something close to that. Let's move this around. Right here. So looks like the Akara, I don't know how to pronounce it right. In the Atari Couchcade. It's in the Atari Couchcade. Any chance the Asteroids Atari Legacy cabinet in the works? My favorite artwork, but I hesitated to buy before the new Asteroids. Well, I think the next version of the Atari, right, is the Centipede. There's also something I saw recently that they just added. If you go to Pro, I didn't see these before. Do you guys ever see these before? But Arcade 1-Up has official iPhone cases now. And they're $27.99. If you have an iPhone 12, you can get this Arcade 1-Up logo. There you go. Now let's take a look at that. So if you go to arcade1up.com, let's do this. Arcade1up.com. Yeah, the next... So he's talking about the Atari That's available at like one of those other retailers. The next legacy is this. This is the next legacy. It's Centipede. And I don't think we'll get another one except for this one. So you got Centipede, Millipede, Asteroids, and there you go. It has your Aka Arc on it. Bo Peep. Any chance the Asteroids Atari Legacy cabinet's in the works? Maybe they'll do another one, but this is the next lineup for this year. I think that it's like one Legacy a year per popular brand is how they're doing it. I kissed a girl and I liked it. All right. You can fix the visible cable behind the marquee. There you go. I want that Centipede. Let's see. New to me. Yes, the new Atari Legacy should be an Asteroid cab. It should be, or it is? What are you saying? It should be? Or are you saying it is should be? All right. It would be cool if the Arcade 1-Up could offer firmware updates for the original Golden G cabinet. Just the ability to pause the game would be a great enhancement. The original can't. They could even charge for it. Let's see. Pay this amount and give us free advertising. Will the Legacy have a vertical screen though? Yeah, I think so. I think, oh wait. No, it's not. It's not. That's right. I forgot. I got it backwards. I don't think they're doing that. It's been a while since we talked about it. This, I believe, is a widescreen. I believe it's a widescreen. You never know. They may have changed it to vertical. But last time I remember John saying, wait, Nooner says it is vertical. But I thought last time John was like, I don't think it's going to be vertical. Maybe it is. Let's see. And Tempest, the video was wrong. See? Brad's like, no vertical. No. He's saying no vertical. Are you saying no, it is vertical? Or are you saying no, it's not vertical? It will have that coin door. It's going to have 14 games. And who knows if that's vertical or horizontal. It's like square. Let's see. Justin, thank you so much for doing the Scott water bottle appearance last week on your Average Gamer show. It was hilarious as always. Really? Let's see. You talking about this? I bet you're talking about this, right? No. Why is his mouth so funny looking? What is up with that? Hi. I'm Scott Backrat, and I have a white mouth. What is going on? I have a white mouth. This is ridiculous. This show is gone off the rails completely. I have no clue what this is. What is it? Why is his mouth so white? His mouth is so white. Let's see. No, now it's backwards. No, now you can. No, what is this? There you go. I'm eating a marshmallow. I have no clue. Oh, wait. I think I got it. There it is. Look, I'm inside here now. Hey, guys, I'm inside Scott. Here we go. Hey, guy. Hey, King Kong. This is just for you. This is for you, King. Let's ask me questions in the chat. I like marshmallows. And for some reason, Scott Baccarat sounds like Batman. I'll read there we go. Okay. This sounds so wrong. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna fix it. The next Arcade 1-Up cabinet will have a BOE IPS screen 19-inch 4x3. Yeah. He's playing Fluffy Bunny. You should swallow marshmallows in your mouth and say Fluffy Bunny. And the winner of the person who can say it the most with the most marshmallows in their mouth is the winner. Scott, how's the QA in the China factory going? Not too well. Okay. I'm always thirsty. Always thirsty. It's ridiculous, guys, the things that you make me do. So ridiculous. All right. I'll just do Scott like this. Scott? Okay, Scott, so when are you coming out with the Street Fighter Alpha cabinet? Street Fighter Alpha cabinet? Who told you that? That is the cabinet we are working on, and I think it's coming out later this year. But you shouldn't know about that. I barely know about that. All right. BOE monitor components come from the Ukraine. Oh, is that right? I thought it was Europe. I thought the best on earth monitors were like Europe. Now you got me wondering. Now I feel all bad. Be like, okay, I get it. BOE monitor. I thought their company was like in the UK or something. Let's see. BOE.com. We have monitors of variety of sizes. About us. Company profile. BOE. Best on Earth. Founded in 1993 as leading company of the global semiconductor display industry, BOE has led China's display industry from scratch. At present, every 4 smart terminals in the world has a display from BOE. Its ultra high definition, flexible, and micro display solutions has been widely used in famous brands like Arcade 1-Up. I just added that in. Global market research agency Omidia data shows that in 2020, BOE and smartphones, tablets, PCs, notebook, computers, monitors, TVs, and other 5 major appliances of displays shipped are ranked first in the world. Best on Earth. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's accurate. It looks like they're in China. Let's see. Hobby Hands is playing Tron and the Sprinter broke right now. Wow. That's crazy. Let's see. Justin, we need a tour of your full-sized arcades in your garage. Okay, I'll work on that. I will work on that. Yeah, I should have been more specific. Like the west side of Europe is what I recall. I think they have an office there. I remember, but everything I'm seeing now is China. I remember looking that up, and I don't know why I thought it was. Anyway. Yeah, made in China. Okay, they were built long before the invasion. There you go. That is true. The Killer Instinct Pro had, and the Shaq Edition NBA is going to be very legit as long as it has good monitors. Telling you, it's all about the monitors at this point. Not an extra large. Don't need it. There you go. There you go, guys. So, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Don't forget, there's going to be a link. I'm going to put that in the chat again. If you want to join, follow me on Whatnot. You can click that link. I will be doing a giveaway on this awesome Gpi case. It's a complete inbox. All you have to do is follow me, and then what you'll see is you'll get a notification that I'm going live. And when I go live, there will be an auction where you can bid on probably a lot of Nintendo carts. That's what I'm going to start with. I have some PS2 games as well. You can also reach out to me or right here in the chat if ask me, or when I'm doing live, ask if I have anything, and if I do have it and it's in my list of things that I'll eventually sell, I'll put that in the next auction, and then we'll do those auctions together. They're live, they're interactive. You can chat, you can ask to look at the product closer. I can describe it to you, everything like that, and then you can bid on it. And the shipping is really incredible. And on the giveaway, when you do the giveaway, I pay for the shipping, and it's right through the app. Everyone who follows or basically says they want to join the giveaway, and when you hit the join the giveaway, you become a follower, then it'll spin, and it'll select a random winner, and that winner, I'll ship him this, And then you got to bring your own ROMs. And this unit, you just got to buy a $10 Raspberry Pi Zero to complete it. All right, guys, so thank you so much. There's a few people that says they want to do some music. You want to do an after-the-show music? We can. You're going to have to help me with songs. We can do that for a little bit until 19K Fox goes on. How's that sound? We'll do some music. It'll be posted. It'll be unlisted after the show is over, so that you don't get burdened with a whole bunch of music when you probably subscribe because of the Arcade 1-Up stuff, not music. Don't forget Justin's OnlyFlans. That's right. All right. We'll see you guys. You know I'm worried about that Pro line. That's no joke. Thank you so much for hanging out for Console Kids Podcast. I'll probably still call it Home Arcade Podcast or something like that. Or yet another Home Arcade Podcast. Who knows? Does it really matter what it's called? Let's call it 1-Up Weekly 2.0. It's 1-Up Weekly without Ralph. And it's not fair. It's nothing like 1-Up Weekly. It's 1-Up Weekly less Ralph and all the fun stuff that we used to do. It's its own thing. It's just me. It's just not as good. All right. There we go. That's the name of the new show. It's like 1-Up Weekly, just not as good. There you go. All right. We'll see.